Hey, good morning, my dear friends, and welcome to beautiful Surfside, California on a rainy morning here on Wednesday. Yeah, it's a little rainy. It's kind of cold also, and the wind is just starting to pick up. But we've got some really interesting stuff to talk to you about. There's some good fishing going on south of the border down at Land's End in Cabo San Lucas. We still see some good marlin fishing down that way. And as we work our way up the Baja Peninsula, you'll see more and more yellowtail pretty close to Southern California. Also, we had an incredible nighttime wahoo bite that we're going to tell you about. Not a sundown bite that turned into a night bite, but a night bite on the wahoo. That doesn't happen all the time. We're going to take a look at Southern California and take a look at what this weather is going to bring us in the next few days, because it's really starting to blow down here and it's going to get worse, let me tell you. We'll cover the surf fishing scene. We've got orcas not only eating dolphin here off Southern California, but now kind of munching on some gray whales that are making their migration from the Bering Sea down to the warm water lagoons of Baja California. You know what time it is. It's time for the morning briefing. Good morning, my friends. That coffee is good, but it's already a little cold. And I mean, I just brought down a hot cup of coffee, but man, it's blowing down here. And I'm not out of the rain either. Back behind me, it doesn't look too bad, but man, over this way down toward Newport Beach, it is pouring down there right now. So I might get nailed by the time of this report ends. Hey, don't forget, give us a like if you'd be so kind. We deeply appreciate it. Share these videos with a friend. Tick the bell. You'll be notified when there's new content. And subscribe to the Friedman Adventures YouTube channel. Also, you can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and Spotify and Apple Podcasts. We deeply appreciate all the likes, all the shares, all the love. Really, really has been a great 2023. And now 24 is looking better than ever before. Tide's starting to come up on us here a little bit, but it's not that bad. You don't see those huge sets here. We're going to get another round of those bigger sets rolling in here tomorrow, and then Saturday also. And the wind is going to accelerate as the day goes on here in Southern California, making it kind of dangerous in some areas. The further offshore you get, the more wind. And if you go up north toward the Channel Islands, Ventura, Oxnard area, it's pretty darn breezy. It's breezy down toward Ensenada, which is 70 miles down across the border into Mexico. So we're going to have some breezy weather, but not like Sunday. Sunday is when it's going to get downright nasty. It's going to be really blowing hard. All right, let's take you down to Cabo San Lucas and talk a little bit about that. Marlin bite still pretty good on the striped marlin down there. There's still some hits on the yellowfin tuna that you can encounter, and absolutely gorgeous weather. This is a beautiful time of the year down in Cabo. It actually gets kind of chilly in the evenings and at night. I mean, chilly meaning like 60 degrees, 65 degrees, like that. But daytime temps are like in the high 70s right now, 80s. It's beautiful down there, and there's some pretty good fishing. We mentioned to you on previous reports, they're catching some smaller rooster fish and some Dorado up there in La Paz also. Very early to see any signal on roosterfish, perhaps a signal that El Nino is at play. San Quintin, which is 140 miles down the Baja coast from the Mexican-American border. Tijuana, you go down another 140, you're in San Quintin, and the yellowtail fishing there's been outstanding. It's not an everyday thing, but it's been good enough to suggest that a trip down there might be worth your while, and you can back it up with some great rockfish and an occasional big halibut also down there. Ensenada continuing to produce big bonita, also an occasional yellowtail up there, and also copious amounts of colorful and delicious eating rockfish. So Ensenada has been very, very good. In the San Diego area, let's talk the Southern California coast and offshore. Offshore is out of the question until next week. If you're thinking about going off and looking for a bluefin tuna, I don't think it's going to happen. The weather's going to be very nasty here today. It lays down a little bit, but by Sunday it is back up and really blowing. And when I say lays down, it's still a little breezy. It just gets really nasty on Sunday. We've had no boats out on Tanner Bank, Cortez Bank, 90 bank, the 60 mile bank, the 43 fathom. So we haven't had nobody out there. The boats that caught the most recent catches of bluefin tuna were south, down about 150 miles, and it was good. And there was yellowfin tuna there also, but nobody's looking at it. Long range fleet now is on 16-day trips. They are way down below, and they're having some really good yellowfin tuna fishing on bigger grade fish, 100+ pound stuff. Very, very, very common right now. Also, you have a lot of 50, 70-pound stuff, some even smaller than that. But good yellowfin tuna fishing for the long range fleet out of San Diego right now. That is great news. Hopefully, that is going to continue to roll along. There's no rockfish available to you here in Southern California. So, a couple ways if you need a rockfish right now, you're dying for a rockfish, you can drive into Mexico, go down there and fish with one of the pongueros in San Quintin or Ensenada. You know, in Rosarito, you can even go down there, and just south of Rosarito, there's a little commercial fishing village, Popotla it is called, and you can talk to those guys and they'll take you out. You just make a deal with them. So you got to polish up on your Spanish a little bit, tell them you want to go out and catch some fish, and they'll take you out of Popotla. And even if you decide not to go, that's kind of a cool place to walk around and check out. And they have some restaurants there that are pretty good also. So that is something you might want to check out. Here in SoCal, rockfish is closed right now. So most of the guys are fishing, you know, wintertime bass. So they're fishing with a leadhead and squid, fluorocarbon, like 25 to 40 pound. You want to fish as heavy as you can get away with. Sometimes those fish are really finicky and they won't bite the heavy line. But if they will, go to it because they live in structure and they have a great penchant for sawing you off. They will run you back in to those nasty neighborhoods, whether it's rocks or a shipwreck or whatever it is where they're living, and saw you off. So you've got to start pulling fast when you get a bite. When you hook them, start pulling fast or they're gone, man. They'll saw you off so fast. So you have that as an alternative available to you. Hopefully you'll be able to get out and do that. Marina Del Rey has been a good spot. Pretty heavy rain over here towards Seal Beach right now. Also, I can see it falling over there. Am I going to get nailed here? I don't know. So there is that for you. Now, halibut fishing. A lot of guys are off to the halibut races. I mean, many boats have decided to do halibut derbies this year. I think the Native Sun, 22nd Street, Dana Wharf is doing it. I'm not sure about Marina Del Rey, but there's been some exceptional signal on halibut already this year. And late last year, we saw the Pride have 55 halibut about a month ago. And last year was an exceptional year in Southern California. It was one of the best years I've ever seen, if not the best for halibut. Like a lot of 30, 40, 50, 60 scores on halibut. Boats catching limits in SoCal, which is 5 halibut per rod. I remember saying to myself years ago, why is the limit 5 halibut here in Southern California? I've never seen anybody catch 5 halibut in a single day. And last year it became pretty regular. That wasn't a big surprise to see that happen. So a lot of that will be going on in between these little storms that we've got going on in the next couple of days. We'll watch it closely and see if anything does develop for you with regard to that. But there's a lot of that halibut with the bass, so that gives you something to do. Also, lobster hoop netting has been pretty darn good here recently. We continue to see really great success out there at Catalina Island. And as I have been describing to you in the past, after you get these blows, these weather incidents, what am I trying to say? After it rains, after you get a storm that blows through, what the heck? Those lobster love to crawl. So keep that in mind because we should have a good crawl. You don't want to go out in the nasty weather because it's too dangerous. You don't want to risk your neck for a crustacean like that. But once it calms down, right after the storm, those langostas love to crawl, and cat's been good. But the local scene has also picked up here recently. PromarAhi.com. They have all kinds of great videos there to help you learn more about how you can be successful on a trip. No question about that. I still am amazed at that Wahoo bite on the Intrepid. That was really something incredible. Long range Intrepid had that night bite on the Wahoo, and you don't see that very often. So that is really some cool stuff. In addition to the yellowfin tuna, you have some great Wahoo fishing, and this one was not a sundown bite that went into the dark. It was sun had set, it was dark, and they get into a Wahoo bite at night on board the Intrepid. That is pretty cool stuff. I'm still amazed by that one. That is really cool. Here in SoCal, right around here too. So I'm standing here in Seal Beach, California, actually Surfside. Seal Beach is right over here. And up there around San Pedro, Point Fermin area. And then there's a point called Point Vicente off the Palos Verdes Peninsula. Yesterday, they saw a pod of killer whales attacking a gray whale yesterday. So some phenomenal sights here with orcas here recently. And also they've been munching on dolphin for quite some time. Sometimes you'll see them down around Newport Beach, sometimes down around San Diego, other times up here around Point Fermin and Point Vicente. All throughout here in the Southern California area, we've been visited by orcas. And now is the gray whale migration, where the grays are moving from the Bering Sea in Alaska to the warm water lagoons in Baja California, Mexico. So you have those two mammoth animals colliding right now, and it's pretty interesting stuff. No doubt about it, you should get out on a whale watch trip here really soon. In the surf, there's been some good fishing. We've seen some yellowfin croaker, some corbina, some halibut, really, really good at times. It's kind of lingering on longer than it normally does. Around this time of the year, things start to slow down and you have to switch over to bait, but the fish have been biting artificials like chrome crocodiles or a little Castmaster or even a Lucky Craft lure. That's been pretty effective. If that doesn't work and you need bait, Big Fish Bait and Tackle in the beautiful city of Seal Beach, California, right there on the corner of Seal Beach and Pacific Coast Highway. They've got all your bait needs. I mean, they have a myriad of different baits that work so well here in the Southern California coastal region at your surf fishing headquarters for SoCal, right there, Big Fish. But they also have all the hooks, sinkers, tackle you'll need, from trout to bluefin tuna. They've got it all. Big Fish Bait and Tackle. Come on out. If you're on a budget, spend a little too much money at Christmas, there's no better way to enjoy the great outdoors than walking the beaches and fishing the surf. I absolutely love doing that. However, one admonition, don't do it when the surf is really nasty and this wind is going to blow and it's going to get nasty, especially if you're thinking about taking kids. It gets too dangerous when it is windy. And remember, Sunday is going to be a very windy day. All right, my friends, always great to see you here. Thank you so much for your great support. As always, I deeply appreciate it. Have a great Wednesday, and I hope to see you really, really soon.